This is Fireside Chat with me, Johnny B. All right. Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We got a great episode for you guys today. We're sitting down with the Dallas regional leader from PTSD Foundation of America, Kenneth Thomas. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, John.
Hey, great to have you. Hey, so just for you guys that are listening in, recently I was at an event and I ran into some of these folks from the PTSD Foundation, had a great conversation with them, and they told me all about what PTSD Foundation is all about. And beautiful, beautiful thing. And so we've asked Kenneth to come in and sit down and talk to us and tell us more about it for the whole audience. And this is such, not just an organization, but a beautiful ministry, from my opinion. And they more than likely agree. So, hey, Kenneth, again, welcome. Thanks for sitting down with us. And can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with PTSD Foundation, and then tell us about the organization itself?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I go by Kenny. That's what most people know me as. I'm the general manager for the Dallas chapter here for the PTSD Foundation. So what the PTSD Foundation does is it helps veterans struggling with PTSD. We have programs set up in Houston. We have outreach groups in 6 different areas. We have Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Phoenix, Atlanta, and Tampa right now. We're still looking to launch some more chapters here in the next few years, continue our outreach process.
Awesome. And so how did you get involved?
See here, I was struggling with, I got out of the military in 2004 after 2 deployments between Iraq and Afghanistan. I was struggling with PTSD pretty bad. And in 2016, organization actually found me.
Oh, cool.
And they figured out to go through the program, and I've been with them ever since.
So you say you went through the program. What is the program?
The program is a six-month minimum, faith-based, veteran-centered clinical intervention that helps combat veterans with post-traumatic stress and co-occurring disorders. It's a peer-to-peer ran, so all your mentors and program staff are combat veterans that have been through the program themselves, and it's helping the next veteran up.
Man, that in and of itself is beautiful. I love that. So a lot of folks will be familiar with like Celebrate Recovery or the Regeneration Ministry. How is this similar to that or different from that?
It's similar in having a step process. So there's a 10-step process with the Combat Trauma Healing Manual. That's our main literature we use as the veterans go through the program. And it helps the veteran look at what PTSD is, how to overcome PTSD, and how to build a stronger future all through Christ.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like that's similar. The difference part is I guess it's peer-to-peer based.
Yeah. I know when I was going through Regeneration, we had groups, about 12 men for a group. So this is more of, the veteran and whoever their mentor is just sitting down face to face. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So you don't have the larger groups.
Still have your big warrior groups, but you work through the Combat Trauma Healing Manual individually.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's easy. So as we're sitting down, I'm talking to Kenny here. If you guys are at home and you're able to, if you're driving and listening to this, then please leave your phone down. Don't pick it up while you're driving. But if you're able to, if you can point your browsers on your computers or on your phones to ptsdusa.org, there is a lot of information in here. Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Through the website itself?
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff. Like I'm seeing you guys actually define what PTSD is. That's a huge thing.
It is. For a lot of people, the stigma of PTSD is it tears people up, it makes them violent, it makes them aggressive, and that's not the truth at all. PTSD, more of the anger is inward. The veteran doesn't like themselves. They don't like what they've done. They've struggled with that. They have false guilt. So you look at what we see on mainstream media, it's veteran with PTSD shoots up so-and-so, or veteran with PTSD assaults so-and-so. They always put that in there. But the reality of it is they're not struggling. They're not pushing their anger outward. They're bringing it in. That's why our suicide rate is so high.
Yeah. And so then, I'm sorry, go ahead.
If you get to our website, there's a couple of different tabs at the top. We got Get Help, Give Help, Get Involved, with information about us, about who we are, our team, and what we do.
Hmm.
Our media. So anytime you can get on here, look at our media, our press release. All of our numbers are on the website. All of our contact information. Ways you can get involved. You can donate time. You can donate money. You can donate. We have a lot of major organizations that have come out to Camp Hope in Houston and volunteer to help clean up the campus or do some maintenance or small jobs around the campus that needs to be done.
Okay. What is Camp Hope?
So Camp Hope is our peer-to-peer program I was talking about earlier. So the PTSD Foundation is the umbrella. That's primarily it covers. That's our chapters. That's our corporate. That's how it started.
Hmm.
That's what supports our warrior groups, our family groups, our chapters across the country. Then our interim housing program for combat veterans is Camp Hope, and that's the one in Houston, Texas.
Oh, it's an interim housing program.
Yeah.
So,
So the veteran,
yeah, go ahead.
if the veteran, wherever the veteran is in the nation, if the veteran needs a program, they'll reach out to submit an application online. If you go to Get Help,
Hmm.
you'll see submit an application. That's how the veteran can get the help. The application will get sent out to either a chapter within their area or a national outreach team. Once they do that, somebody will reach out to the veteran. We'll walk through the vetting questionnaire with them, the application, to make sure we're the best fit for the veteran. Because we understand that, we're not a one size fits all. Maybe you're not a good fit for our program, but we have other programs we work with. We can help you get in. But if
Wow.
you are a good fit for our program, we'll vet the application, walk through it with the veteran, make sure T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and then set up transportation for the veteran into the program, and then transport the veteran down to Houston to start the program.
As you're saying that, I'm really loving the humility that you guys have in this, that, especially what you just said, you recognize that you're not always the best fit. I hear sometimes from other organizations saying, we're the best thing to happen. Come see us. Don't worry about the rest or whatever. But you guys are definitely grown up and mature enough to understand that maybe that there's something better. And I love that you're working with the other organizations to help them out too, and not just looking out for yourselves. That's awesome.
Yeah, the more organizations that can work together, the more veterans we can help.
Amen to that. So say a veteran is fresh out of the military. They just came back from theater. They're living somewhere in, let's say, Seattle, and they reach out, they hit the Get Help, and they submit an application. What does that look like? Like how do they get from Seattle to Houston?
So the same process I talked about. Our national outreach team will reach out to them, vet their application with them. We'll get them a flight set up. We can't provide transportation, obviously, for them to the airport because we're not in the region. But once they get to the airport, they'll fly in. We'll pick them up in Houston, and then bring them straight to the program.
Oh, cool. So when they get to Camp Hope, like what is all that? I mean, is this just like a like a ranch, or like they have like barracks?
It's a 5-acre facility located in northwest Houston, Jersey Village, just behind the Sam Houston Raceway, if you're familiar with Houston. So when you pull up on campus, it's not out in the middle of the country. It's not a ranch. Sounds like it would be. That's what I was expecting when I came to the program. But to my surprise, it's in Houston. So you pull up on a 5-acre lot. You've got our office, main intake office on the right-hand side. And as you look to your left, you got our Clay Hunt house, which is the first house that was built on the campus. So Camp Hope started in 2009. So Clay Hunt was a veteran that was involved with the PTSD Foundation. He was helping out, and Clay Hunt was the first veteran that we worked with that took his own life. He was a combat veteran struggling with PTSD. The foundation was trying to help, and unfortunately, he succumbed to his PTSD. So they built the Clay Hunt house in memory of him. So that's the first house we put on Camp Hope. And then there's 1, 2, 3 more houses. We got the Ryan A. Miller house. We got the Burkhead house, and then we got. So we got the big house. So the big house is, who was it? I can't remember the name of the big house, but the owner of Gringo supported that one. So that's a $1.5 million house.
Oh, wow.
I think the foundation itself spent $150,000 The Russell Ybarra House is what it's called. I went blank there for a minute.
So
Russell Ybarra,
$1.5 million house. I'm assuming it's pretty fancy in there.
it's a pretty good setup. So it can house up to 64 veterans.
Oh, wow.
They all, I think 7 rooms to a bay. There's 4 different bays. So kind of like in the barracks, you had your bays. There's 4 different bays. They all share a common area where there's a large TV, couches, recliners, all that good stuff to relax when you have some downtime. There's a kitchen where the guys can cook. We provide all the food, so the guys don't want to eat what the chef is preparing. And our chow hall, I guess is what you'd call it.
Wait, y'all have a chef there too?
Say again?
Y'all have a chef there too?
Yeah, we have a chef that cooks guys right now. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Friday. They're looking to open it up on the weekends also. On top of that, we have people in the community that donate meals for the guys. So say some church would come out and bring a meal on a Friday night and feed the guys. So they're really good at that.
Oh, wow.
But the kitchen is in each bay and then each room, and then they share. They got a bathroom with 2 showers, 2 restrooms, a laundry area, so they can be fully self-sufficient.
So that I'm really loving what I'm hearing here. That this is like, I remember when I first got out of the military, there was nothing like, we always get what the TAPS class or TAMPS or whatever they're calling it these days, that teaches you how to write a resume and how to get a job and all that, but nothing teaches you how to come back into civilian life, which is a completely different world. And a lot of people don't get that. But it sounds like what you guys are doing is you're bridging that gap and saying, hey, we know what you're used to. We're going to, keep at least the living conditions the same, give you the camaraderie, but ease you back into civilian life. Am I off on that?
No, that's a pretty good way to put it.
I love that.
So as the veterans are coming in, the camaraderie is a huge part of our program.
Yeah.
So you get military and you're back home and you're like, what do I do with my hands? You feel alone. You feel like you don't fit in. You don't have that brotherhood or that family feeling you had when you was in the military. But when you get on the grounds at Camp Hope and you walk into whatever bay they assign you at, there's 14 other people who have been through what you're going through, understand you, and you can feel safe to be you.
That's awesome, dude. I wow. My mind is blown. This is one of those things I wish I knew about this when I got out way back in 2013. That would have been hugely beneficial. And I'm glad we're getting to have this conversation and get it out into the airwaves that more people can know about this now. So with all of that, I'm curious. So who started the organization and how did it come about?
So David Molesby and Gene Birdwell started the PTSD Foundation in 2009. So it all started out, they were just going out in the community, looking for veterans, providing them food, providing them blankets, and they saw a bigger need. So they started launching warrior groups, which got the veterans back together, talking about what they're struggling with. And then in 2012 is when they built Camp Hope. So it all started with 2 men who just wanted to help veterans, had a heart for it. And David will say it all the time, like, we started with nothing but a paperclip, and here we are today.
Nothing but a paperclip. I love it. I mean, it goes back into scripture, having the faith of a mustard seed. Something so little can produce something so big, and just having faith and acting in that faith, taking a step in that faith can produce something beautiful. And it sounds like that's exactly what happened here. Now David Molesby
and Gene Birdwell.
David and Gene, are they veterans themselves, or they just wanted to help?
They are not. They just wanted to help.
That's awesome. Veterans or not, if they just wanted to help, that's awesome. I mean, that's what our faith is all about. Doesn't matter if you're in the club or not, right?
Yep.
So, so to date, do you guys know how many veterans have come through?
As of January 23rd, 2023, it's been 1,787 veterans come through our program.
Wow.
I think 2023 we haven't got all the numbers for 2023, but I think there's over 300 veterans that came through. So we're looking at over 2,000 veterans at this point.
Wow. That is a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah. And 75% of them meet the U.S. Department of Housing Urban Development's definition of homelessness.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So that's a big thing. So Just out of curiosity, I'm not familiar. I mean, I kind of have an idea of that. We've heard about it in the past, especially in that 2008 bubble with the housing collapse. We heard a lot about the homelessness and what the HUD considered it. So can you define that for us?
I'm not sure 100% how to define what the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's definition is. Want to say it's either you're homeless for at least, I don't even want to try. I don't even know that.
But okay, so I mean, off the top of my head, I'm assuming that you're making below a certain amount of money a year, don't have a roof over your head that's permanent, at least, something like that. And thinking about that, how many veterans do we have out there today? And I know this isn't it's a question that we can answer right here without doing a lot of research. But just for everyone, to think in the back of our heads, like how many veterans are out there right now, especially, going into January and February, where they're out there on the streets and just could not reintegrate back into society after getting out. And so they have nowhere to be. And so it just sounds like an organization like this is able to not only give you a roof over your head, but point your feet back in the right direction.
Definitely. So we've had veterans come through our program that lived on the street. We brought them straight in from the street, brought them in. They had families that was on the street. So
Wow.
years ago, we had our family program also established, and we had family housing on site. So we bring the veteran in, and then we bring the family in, so the veteran didn't have to worry about their family while they were getting the help they needed.
Oh,
So
wow.
the veteran would borrow a house, and the family would live in the Burkhead house, and they would go through their treatment, get their help, and then the veteran would get their help. So even though they lived across the street during one of the phases of the program, they still couldn't have communication with their family. But to help the veteran and the family heal, and when some of them families and veterans healed at the end of the program, they thrived. They went out and lived the life they deserve, and it's amazing to see how that happened.
Man, that is beautiful to hear. I mean, I'm kind of blown away at the moment. Just I didn't even know that y'all even helped the families as well, and that's awesome. Wow.
Due to the growth, we don't have family housing on campus anymore, but in the future, we would definitely want to bring that back. But we do have family support. We have a family program that helps the veteran families while the veterans coming through the program.
That's amazing. That really is amazing. So a veteran that's having problem, and this is granted that they get online and find the website or go through and are able to contact somebody at some sort of an event. They fill out the application. You guys have a conversation with them. You vet them or try and get them help, wherever they're at locally. If they don't, necessarily fit into, you going through a faith-based ministry. But you reach out and you try and get them help wherever they're at. From there, you bring them down to Houston. You go into Camp Hope, which sounds like an incredible facility. You have mentors that are there, brothers that are there, or sisters. So that's actually a good question. Do you have like a separate wing for female veterans?
So when the Camp Hope first started, they attempted to try a co-ed facility, but they found, you look at the majority of females that struggle with PTSD, they also have military sexual trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So you put that in close quarters with male combat veterans who struggle with PTSD. It's hard for both male and female to get the help they need in that environment.
Yeah,
so we learned the hard way, couldn't house male and females on the same facility. So right now we do not have a female facility, but that definitely is the plans for the future, because that's a big need right now, because a lot of females struggling who could really use something like Camp Hope, and we need to fill that need in the future.
Okay. Yeah. So is it something that maybe there's like an apartment building nearby or something?
So we partner with other organizations that we can refer female veterans to.
Okay, good. So there's something there. There is something to bridge the gap in between.
There is, yes, sir.
That's amazing. So what you've had over 2,000 veterans come through your door. Granted, I understand that some of them might not have been entirely a success story. like the one individual you shared earlier. But um, amongst those 2,000, I'm pretty sure that you guys have several amazing success stories. Can you tell us about any of those?
We have, I think, 40% of our veterans that come through our program can succeed or continue to be successful after the program, which the national average for a 30-day program is like 8%.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've had veterans come in that were on using hardcore drugs. Uh, this veteran was so sick, he's lost all of his weight. He couldn't hold his bowels when he first got there,
Dang.
and then a year later he graduates the program, uh, starts working, gets married, starts a family, and is thriving today. I could tell more stories like that, but every resident there has a story similar to that. Maybe not the drugs, though 90% of the veterans that we do work with suffer from substance abuse disorder, which
Mhm.
is kind of goes hand in hand with PTSD a lot. There's I could tell you stories, but it'd take us all day because there's so many to tell.
I believe that. I believe that. Well, even yourself. I mean, the conversation that I had with you earlier, it sounded like you came out of you were in the army, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you came out of the army. You reached out to this organization, and you went through it. And now, just from what we discussed earlier, you got a great job. You're the regional director of this ministry for Dallas, and you got your family, you have a house, great job, doing well. So I mean, from everything that you've told me earlier, you're a success story from this.
I believe Jesus definitely got me through a lot. Thankful for him. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad. So I was struggling with PTSD, like I said, when I got out in '04. My third suicide attempt is when the foundation found me. So I lost my jobs. I was living back home with my mother at 35 or 36, I think.
Hmm.
So when I first got out of the military, I had a decent career. I went to college, got my degree, started working in respiratory therapy in the hospitals. After struggling with PTSD and losing job after job, it ended up just feeling like I was a failure to my family, to myself. I was a burden. So after the third suicide attempt, a buddy of mine had called me. I was behind my mom's house with a pistol in the creek. I was about to shoot myself, and I was begging God to take me. And Jeremy, a Marine friend of mine who picked me up from a VA PTSD program, called. And I don't think if it wasn't a veteran that called that I would have picked up the phone. But since it was Jeremy, I picked up the phone. He said, "What's going on with you? God put you on my heart." I told him what was going on. He stayed on the phone with me till he got out to me. It took him about 45 minutes. That's when he told me about Camp Hope. He said, "There's a program in Houston, Texas that I think would really help you." I said, "Well, I can't afford to get out there. I don't know how's this going to happen." He said, "It's no cost. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to be willing to commit to change." I took that step that day. The next day, they flew me out to Camp Hope, and the rest is history.
Wow. Wow. Amen for him showing up and calling.
Yep.
Um, that's God. God just continues to show us like how good he is and how much he loves us by putting the
Yep.
right people in place. And one of the greatest, coolest things I ever heard in a sermon since I came to know Christ is God uses his people to help his people. And that sounds like exactly what Jeremy was doing, that the work
Yep.
of God reaching into your life. So for other people, like we know how you guys help veterans and how veterans can reach out to you guys. So for everyone that's listening and they want to get involved or somehow help, what are some resources for
You can
other
go.
folks?
You can go to our website at ptsdusa.org. Go to Give Help, and there's links to volunteer. There's links to donate. Um, Locally, if you're in Dallas or one of our other chapters, you can volunteer to help at some of their major events. So I know in Dallas, for the chapter I work for, we have our golf tournament in September, which is usually high need for volunteers. And then
Mhm.
we'll have our barbecue in April. I think April 21st is our barbecue this year in Flower Mound.
Mm.
Always need a ton of volunteers for that because that cook-off is usually a challenge.
Oh, cool. So, I mean, I got to ask, I mean, because I do have some Cajun friends. In fact, our first episode was with another Navy veteran, a guy named Brandon Robichaux, who he's rather Cajun. Um, since you are doing a barbecue in the springtime, that just happens to be mud bug season. You guys do that? Do the big crawfish boil with your barbecue?
We don't here in Dallas. Houston has their part of, excuse my language, it's called the big ass crawfish boil. There's a
Hmm.
supporter of ours. They boil 10,000 pounds, I think they boiled
Ooh,
last maybe year before last.
I could probably
It's a
get through
pretty,
most of that.
do what?
I said I could probably get through most of that.
Oh, you can never get full on crawfish. I don't know why.
Because they're so good.
Hmm. I agree.
So definitely for the events, like for folks here in the Dallas area, Dallas Fort Worth, Flower Mound is really an in between. That's easy to get to for all of us. That
Yep.
is the barbecue, and then you do the golf tournament. Where's that at?
Golf tournament is, I can't remember the name of the course right offhand. It's on the east side of Dallas.
Okay.
And we did it in September last year, but with so much going on in September, you've got tons of organizations doing golf tournaments that month. You got North Texas Giving Day that month.
Hmm.
So we're going to try to push October and hopefully have some better weather.
Yeah. October is usually a little bit nicer.
Hmm.
That's on the east side of Dallas, probably Mesquite area, I'm assuming.
Yeah, close to that area.
Okay. So for those folks that are listening, if you want to help with a golf tournament, look for that September, October. Definitely reach out. Please do help. Be there for that. And then of course the barbecue thing. If you're down in the Houston area, help out with that crawfish bowl. You probably won't regret that. What about outside of Texas? Is there anything going on that other folks can help with that you know of?
So yes, we have see here, San Antonio. I know it's still in Texas. That's one of our other chapters. Then we have Phoenix, Atlanta, and Tampa, and they all operate just like we do here in Dallas.
Hmm.
So the beauty of what we get to do, our main goal is to help the veteran at home, because
Hmm.
we know it's hard for the veteran to commit to 6 months to come to Camp Hope. So we can help the veteran at home and stay connected with the family and help the family. And ultimately, that's what we'd like to do: keep the veteran in their environment.
Yeah.
But if they ultimately we get them to Camp Hope, and then when they finish Camp Hope, they transition out, and we're there to pick them up as they come out of the program to continue that care. So at no point during this process do we want the veteran to feel like they're left out there alone again. So we
Yeah.
know how that feels. You feel ostracized. You feel like there's no help, and then an organization comes in and gives you help, and you complete it, and then they don't follow up. It's another hurt. It's another
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah. I
So
know
we
exactly what you
make
mean.
that care after they complete the program. So our chapters are really big about that part. So that's mainly what our outreach chapters do.
Awesome. So then there's a Camp Hope Ally. Is that just kind of partnering along and doing whatever you can financially or just using your hands and feet?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. See tributes, sponsors, partners, different, and those probably seem exactly what they are. Getting involved. So volunteering, what does that look like? Just
You're
for those
going,
events.
yeah, you're going to our website and get involved. You go down to events and fundraisers and have all of our events and fundraisers listed there. If you're here local in Dallas Fort Worth, you can email me at kenny.thomas@ptsdusa.org. Let me know you want to get involved. I can connect you with our team out here to get you involved. Let's see here. If you want to volunteer in a deeper way, there's a volunteer application you can fill out. You can run warrior groups or support groups for us. We don't have one in your area. You can volunteer for that.
Oh, cool. Hey, one thing I'm seeing on the website here, you guys actually offer suicide prevention training. Not a lot of
We
people
do.
do that, but you guys do.
We offer assist. It's applied suicide intervention skills training. So it's suicide first aid, pretty much is what it is.
Hmm.
We'll be having another class. Our next class, I'm one of the instructors. It's going to be February 8th and 9th, and that's in Houston.
Hmm.
If we get enough people in Dallas that's interested, we'd love to do a class out here in Dallas.
So can you give us a quick little walkthrough of that? What is suicide prevention training? Is this before or during or after? Or?
So it's during. So it's a conversation. We teach you how to walk through a conversation with a person that is having thoughts of suicide, a person who is feeling suicidal. So it helps you talk to that person, helps you help that person find some glimmer of hope, what we call a turning point. it helps them to have something to cling on to stay safe for now. So our main goal in the suicide intervention is not to get them cured forever. We get them safe for now so we can get them to that next step of healing of what that looks like for that person. So we're not talking about just veterans, just anybody in the community struggling with suicide. We want to train people in the community to help that person stay safe for now so we can get them connected to the resources to help them stay safe for the long term.
Awesome. Man, this is a beautiful ministry. It really is. Because, and I want to be specific with that word ministry, because that's what this is, right? It's not an organization. It's a full on ministry. You're trying to bring the love of Christ to other veterans who are hurting.
That's correct. So we look at our, faith-based, Christ-centered. A lot of people sometimes get deterred because of that, but we're not here to shove Christ down your throat. We're here to love you. We're here to support you. We're here to help you on your journey. Christ calls us to meet people where they're at.
Right.
So if you come in the program or if you work with one of our outreach chapters and you're not a follower of Christ, we're going to love you regardless. We're going to help you regardless. We just hope one day if you decide to come to Christ, we can talk to you about it.
Yeah.
But we're going to do what God calls us to. We're just going to love on you and help you heal.
Amen to that. Love it. So we put the website out there a few times in this conversation, ptsdusa.org. Or you can pick up the phone, call them up, 877-717-PTSD. That's 7873. And, you can, I'm not sure who will answer that line, but somebody will. Man, what a beautiful foundation you guys have. Just a wonderful ministry, helping veterans, loving on them like Christ loves on us. And, I see this in 2022, 238 lived at Camp Hope, 44% graduation rate. 3,977 veterans attend warrior groups, and 8,353 one-on-one veteran sessions. Those are just some quick stats off their website, y'all. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I love it. Before we wrap this up, is there anything last minute things you want to say?
You guys know any veterans that need help in any way, please have them reach out to us. We do make crisis calls. If somebody say we're working with Allen PD or McKinney PD, if they're with a veteran with crisis, they can give us a call. We'll come out and support that veteran in that moment. If you have a veteran that's home that's struggling and you'd like us to come out and talk, please just give us a call. Let us know. Email me at kenny.thomas@ptsdusa.org. You can call me directly at 256-297-0459. We just want to get in front of that veteran and let him know or her know that they're not alone.
Awesome. Hey, Kenny, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us today about the PTSD Foundation. That's a beautiful ministry, wonderful, incredible resource. Again, this is something I wish I knew about, over 10 years ago. But it's here, for the guys and the girls that are coming out of the service today. It's here, it's available. And, definitely, I want to echo everything Kenny just said. For everybody that's listening, please, if you know someone that's struggling and needs help, reach out. These guys are there to help. And Kenny, thank you so much, man.
Well, thank you for your time, John.
Indeed. Guys, we'll be back next week with another amazing story. Don't forget to tune in Tuesday mornings, 10:30. We have a new episode coming out, and on Spotify, Audible, Google, and I believe we're on iHeart as well. So guys, keep tuning in. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.